Oh, we are live! How are we, lads? Come on, the footy! The footy's back! Guys, subscribe to the channel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah! The Cowboys win it! Woo! Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Rugby League Breakdown Podcast, episode number 41, and I am joined by the original gang. Everyone's back. We've got ProEnzo Vidz. We've got Sam REVILL. The gang's back together. It's going to be a good show. Sam, mate, how you going, bro? It's good to have you on the podcast as always.
Hi, Nick. Hi, ProEnzo. Hi, chat. Hope everyone's all doing well. Thank you again for having me.
As always, brother, you might want to fix your audio up a little bit. It's a little bit dodgy there. You might want to have a quick look at that. And ProEnzo Vidz, as always, mate, it's good to have you back on as always, Lorenzo. How you going, brother?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. Good to have Sam back in the show this week, and looking forward to a big episode ahead.
Oh, mate, we've got plenty to talk about. There's a lot been going on lately. There's been lots of stuff going on lately in NRL at the moment. There's a lot of news, a lot of fake news as well in the media. A lot of bullshit talk about one of my favourite players and the club I support. A lot of media bullshit about Jason Taumalolo, but we all know that's all bullshit now and a load of crap. But I want to say hello to everyone in the live chat. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone in the chat's doing extremely well. But before we get into the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, guys, I just want to give a quick congratulations to our good friend Warriors NRL Fanatics. He has reached 1,000 subscribers. I'm very proud of Warriors NRL Fanatics for achieving that goal, and fair play to him. There's been plenty of times and there's been plenty of conversations that I've had with him where he's actually gone very close to leaving YouTube, and he kept at it, he kept grinding, and he kept ignoring the negativity that was everyone used to bag him because everyone thought he was just a meme. Everyone used to make fun of him, but Warriors NRL Fanatics is now a really good guy. Obviously, he's always been a good guy to us, and he's always been a friend of ours. And I just want to say to anyone out there that made a meme of him or anyone out there that tried to bully him, well, how about you stick that one up your ass? Warriors NRL Fanatics has done it. He's hit 1K. Credit to him. And what a great achievement. And I just want to ask you, Sam, real quick, off the bat, what are your thoughts on Warriors NRL Fanatics hitting 1K? It's a great achievement for him.
He was one of the first dudes that I saw when I punched in like NRL tips on a weekly basis, and I'm very proud of him, mate. He's had to cop a lot of mud in the face, and he's persisted with it. And I listen to him every second day. It feels like, mate. I'm very proud of him. He should be proud, and good on him.
I'm proud of him as well. ProEnzo Vidz, obviously, me and you have been talking to him for a long time now. Mate, what are your thoughts on Warriors NRL Fanatics hitting 1K? It's a fantastic achievement, isn't it?
Yeah, look, he's just a great mate of ours, I guess. He's a great mate of all of us. He's a legend to talk to. I know that he does really well with the content he puts out on his channel, all about Warriors, and he has obviously a good knowledge in the game and the club he supports as well. So, yeah, any video he does, I tune in to watch it and I enjoy it. I just want to say also, he puts in a lot of hard work in his channel. He puts in a lot of hard work. He's very committed to, getting to where he is today. Just some people obviously want to take the shortcut, but he does what he does best, and that's do real content.
Yeah, well, you've got other big YouTubers out there that pay for subscribers and do it the lazy way, and you've got some people who just like to broadcast games without even covering themselves up and they just don't put in the hard work. They're all lazy. You get a lot of those dead shits out there that don't work hard to get the 1K. But Warriors and Alpha Fanatics, he's one of the OGs with us. And I had the honour and the privilege to hang out with Warriors and Alpha Fanatics last Saturday. Went up to Seabar Super Stadium, went to the Titans Warriors game, watched it with him, had a great time, went back to the Burleigh Bears Leagues Club, watched the other games that were on. Obviously, the Cowboys were playing, went and watched that. And we just sat back and we just had a really nice time. Me Warriors and Alpha Fanatics, and Warriors and Broncos as well. So, you get to know him, you hang out with him, very nice and very good, humble bloke. And I'm looking forward to seeing him at Magic Round now. It's going to be fantastic. And obviously you too, ProEnzo Vidz at Magic Round. And Sam, obviously I'll see you at a game probably in somewhere in the near future as well. But, yeah, you love to see it. And it's good to see. It really is.
Yeah.
So well done. Excuse me, bloody burping now. Well done to Warriors and NRL Fanatics on hitting 1K. Much congratulations is all I can say. Now, let's get into the podcast, fellas. We got 25 people in the live chat as we speak. Hello to everyone in the live chat. I hope you're all doing well. Everyone, go ahead and like the stream. Subscribe if you're new, and really appreciate it. If you want to go and subscribe to ProEnzo, Vidz, and Sam REVILL, their YouTube channels are in the link in the description below. But let's get into it, fellas. Topic number 5. It's a pretty interesting sort of discussion that has been going on. Topic number 5. West Tigers players Dane Laurie and James Roberts. They were playing the Pokies the night before a game against Newcastle on the weekend. Is it a bad look for the club? They obviously lost to the Newcastle Knights very, very well on Sunday. Roberts and Laurie were at the club in Newcastle, somewhere at a pub or something, playing the Pokies. I want to ask you first, Sam, mate, what do you think about this whole situation? Is it a good look for the club? Is it a bad look for the club? What were the West Tigers thinking? What's your take on this?
Oh, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. They should both be sacked. They should both all be cut and corded, mate. Seriously, they went and had a slap. They didn't drink. They got back to their hotel at 10 o'clock. Leave them alone, man. Leave them alone. Like, do you remember... do you remember the Brisbane Broncos Pokies incident a few years ago?
Yeah,
that was understandable. I understand that. And was Laurie and Roberts poor against the Newcastle Knights? Yeah, they probably were. But that was a complete team mind frame that day, man. Nobody stood up for the West Tigers that day, whether they went to the Pokies or not. So. No, man, this is nothing. This is nothing. I hope they do it again this weekend.
I don't reckon they'll be allowed to do it this weekend, to be honest with you. The way the Tigers are going, Madge won't allow it. I don't reckon he will now. ProEnzo, Vidz, what's your take on this whole situation?
Well, look, it's pretty much just like me up for a coffee, really. Like, I don't think it's anything terrible, but I guess at the same time as well, if it's before a game, then you can say, it's something that they shouldn't do. But if they weren't in big trouble or anything like that, then I guess that's the main thing. There's been no reports that I've known as them getting in trouble, so it's all good. But you want to be careful at the same time, I guess. Well,
the thing is, as well, for me, see, they were back before 10:30 p.m. The game wasn't on until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if I went to bed at midnight and woke up at 9 a.m., I still get 9 hours sleep and I still got 6 hours to kick off. So you've got a long time. So, I mean, look, like you said, if I went to a cafe and got a fucking coffee and they were out before 10, what's the problem? But because I go to a pub and it's a popular place and people can see you and, I don't see what the problem is. It might not be. Oh, my bloody camera's a bit blurry. There we go. It might not be a good look on the club. But here's the thing: if the West Tigers had won, would we be talking about this?
Negative.
No way. No way. We would be talking about this. No way. Now look, I'm just going to throw it out there. If I was an NRL player, or if I was an NRL journalist, or if I was working on commentary. And if I had a commentary game, say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, same time as the Knights and Tigers game, I'd love to go to the pub at fucking 9 o'clock at night and enjoy myself. Like, I don't work till 4 p.m. I don't have to be there till 1 o'clock. Why not go out to the Pokies for a couple hours and get back and I'll still get a decent sleep, whatever. I mean, I don't see what the problem is. I know a lot of people are upset about it, but here's the thing, right? Everyone wants to point the finger at Dane Laurie and James Roberts, but guess what? There was 15 other players playing on Sunday afternoon against the Newcastle Knights, and they weren't good as well. Not just Roberts and Dane Laurie, but because they were at the pub, they're going to get the blame for it. I mean, fuck me. That they weren't drinking. They were sober. They went out. They were out before 10. What's the problem?
There is no problem, mate. Look, I think I can understand, and I do. I can understand where some Tiger supporters are coming from, saying, you know, we haven't had success in 10 years or more now, and, you know, we want you to really be at your best at all times now. You know, we're sick of it. And the players are sick of it too, man, but they got to let them be. You got to let them be themselves, man. And if they can unwind and feel like that, if they go out to the pokies and talk to one another, have some camaraderie between the teammates and just have a cheeky old slap bonding. Yeah, man, just let them be human beings, for God's sake.
The other thing I want to say on this as well is maybe that's the motivation some of the players need. Maybe they need to go out and play the pokies. Everyone's got their preparation the night before the game. Some play cards, some play Uno, some play the Xbox, some sit back at home in their lounge room and have a punt on sports bet on the horse racing or whatever they do. Some people, you know, that they have that escape, that extra bit of release that gets them up the next day for a game of football. Some like playing the pokies. I mean, fuck me, it's their choice. And last year, with all the COVID protocols, and last year they couldn't do anything. This year, they should be able to do whatever the fuck they like with all the COVID restrictions starting to ease off. So I don't see what the problem is. ProEnzo, anything else you want to say on this before we move on?
No, I think we covered it pretty well, actually. I can't see an issue with it. Were they in trouble? No. So it's irrelevant right now. Exactly
right. No laws are broken. Blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. And look, if Tigers had won, there would have been nothing about this in the media. Would have been nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to topic number 4, fellas. Some awesome news. I just want to apologize about the background noise. I am staying with cousins. They are young. There is going to be background noise. They're not in bed yet, but apologies about that. I can't do nothing about it. Loud bastards. Anyway, let's move on. Topic number 4. The New Zealand Warriors. How good's this? They're heading home. July, they will play their first home game. It will be against the West Tigers. Sam, how good is this for the Warriors? They get to go home, first home game, Mount Smart Stadium. They'll play the Tigers. I believe it's a Sunday afternoon game. How good is this for the game?
By the time kickoff comes around, if it does happen, 1,037 days would have passed in between their last home game at Mount Smart Stadium to what will be against the West Tigers on Sunday, the 3rd of July. Heaven help the Tigers, mate. Heaven help the West Tigers that day.
They will be sacrificial lamb that night for the Warriors. I promise you. If there's ever a guaranteed bet of the fucking year, the Warriors 13 plus against the Tigers, first home game in New Zealand, that is a lock. ProEnzo Vidz, how good is it that the Warriors are going back home?
You just imagine the emotion, like the emotion, eh? Like when the fans are allowed back in the stadium, when the Warriors return, you can just imagine how everyone would be reacting to it. It's just a beautiful moment, I really think. You know, if you're a fan of the club or not, it's just that it's good as a fan in general of the NRL. It's good to see them back in New Zealand, back with their family and everyone like that. So it's really good. And you know, I think if restrictions continue to be eased, then yeah, there should be no disruptions from now till July. So yeah, no, it's great news. Very happy.
I just want to say that congratulations to everyone involved that has got this thing going. The Warriors, their fans are going to be through the roof, and if you're a Warriors member living in New Zealand, the last couple of years would have been very, very tough for them members over there in New Zealand. But the other thing I want to say as well, will it be a sellout? Surely they get a sellout for the first game, right?
I think so.
Absolutely.
If I don't get a sellout, that'll bloody do me. Also, the other thing I want to say on this as well, I hope the Warriors can get a full strengthened team. Hopefully, there's no injuries. I want everyone to be playing. Everyone needs to be a part of this. It's going to be fantastic. Also, the other thing I want to mention on this as well, do you guys reckon so when they go back to New Zealand and they play in Mount Smart Stadium, will the COVID rules in New Zealand, do you reckon they'll be similar to Australia where they have rat tests and then they go in and play? Or do you think it'd be different rules over there to what it is here? Or
has to be.
What do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon?
It has to be, mate. It has to be.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, it don't need to be fixed, right?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, ProEnzo? Vidz? What do you reckon? Just a rat test and then if you're negative, in you go. If you're positive, isolation for you, or what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd say so. That should be what their go should be. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fantastic. And look, it buggers me to say this, but Sam, this should have happened so much sooner. I mean, they had the Olympics last year for crying out loud, and people were allowed to go to the Olympics if I had the jab and I come back, and they did do a little bit of isolation. Playing in New Zealand, this should have happened so much sooner than what it has. Do you agree?
Absolutely agreed. And now the first thing that's going to come from this that should be looked at immediately is the junior pathway system. They're now going to be on the ground in New Zealand, and they need to. And I think there's going to be a boom coming for the New Zealand Warriors over the next 5 or so years. They're going to win back the hearts, in my opinion, of the country, and that's the most important thing for them over the next few years, man, is to get back into the grassroots, get back into the community over there, and they'll go gangbusters, and it'll just branch off from there. But I think they need to definitely look at the junior system immediately, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. ProEnzo, Vidz, what do you reckon?
Yeah, for sure. Like with the juniors, like Sam sort of said, it's going to be big for them, especially, they haven't really been able to bring any juniors from New Zealand to come over to Australia where they've been based. So it's going to be big when they do get their whole system back. It's going to help a lot. So I agree with that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but my only concern, rugby union is their only thing that's going to stop them. The rugby union have got practically the whole country in their hands at the moment. So going up against that fucking sport, considering there hasn't been an NRL game over there since 2019, so I do have the work cut out for them. But gee, it'd be good if things can get going there. And we need the Warriors to be strong. We can't have them in the bottom 4 going dog shit. We need them to be very strong. Obviously, I predicted the Warriors to come last this year on my predictions. So hopefully I'm wrong and they're fighting for the top 8, because tell you what, if they are doing okay by the time we get to July, Warriors playing at home at the back end of the year could actually get them in the top 8. So let's just hope the Warriors can turn it around. They're up until at the moment. Hopefully they can turn it around this weekend and get a few wins on the board. But we need the Warriors to be strong, especially when they go back in July. It'll be big for the game.
And here's another thing too, right? So I remember 2 games at Mount Smart specifically, and one of them's not nice to really think of. It's the first game that occurred after the Christchurch terrorist attacks, and Warriors hosted the Canterbury Bulldogs, and my goodness gracious, they absolutely walloped them that day. But the other time that I want to talk about is the 2007 semi-final against the Parramatta Eels, where it was a blackout, and I thought that was probably the best I've ever seen Mount Smart Stadium in my active years of watching a rugby league out there. So it's going to be such a special day. I said at the start of the year, or even a few months prior, that when they do go back, it's going to be top 5 best moments, maybe even the best moment of the entire rugby league season when they do return back home. So it's going to be an amazing day, isn't it, lads?
Well, yeah. I honestly believe when the Warriors do have that first home game, regardless of the result, it's going to be the biggest moment by far, maybe in a couple of years. It's going to be huge.
Yep.
ProEnzo, do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a big occasion, so it's going to be great.
Well, good luck to the Warriors, and hopefully the COVID thing calms down. Ever since this war started overseas, the COVID news has actually gone down a little bit. So hopefully it stays that way, and these rat tests end up being the best way to, for all sports really, to be able to fly from country to country. So hopefully everything goes to plan. But let's move on to topic number 3 now. And it's a one that's I found a bit interesting. I didn't expect to hear about this straight away. I seen it coming, but I was sort of wasn't expecting it to come up this early in the season. Topic number 3: Parramatta Eels halfback Mitchell Moses says he does not feel protected when the forwards rush at the halves. Now, if you watched that show last night on Fox League, it's called Benji. Benji and Moses were on there, and Moses says he doesn't feel protected. He reckons the halves don't get protected enough in the current game. And if you go back and watch that tackle in the Sharks Eels game on the weekend, Teague Wilton come flying out of the line, putting pressure on Moses. He tackled him right in the legs. It was a very, very dirty, ugly-looking tackle. We've seen these tackles for quite some time now, and the consequences for them haven't been the best. But in saying that, Sam, does Mitchell Moses have a point here, or is he just having a sook?
I bet he probably does feel like he's not getting protected because, I mean, blown if you know that you're going to have a couple of blockers stand in front of you, if that's maybe what he could be getting at. I don't know, man. Like, Teague Wilton attacked his legs when he was kicking in the air. For me, to really cut that stuff out of the game, he needs to be sent to the sin bin, like James Tarmo should have been sent to the sin bin in that trial game against the Eastern Suburbs. And the penalty and the suspensions need to be a lot heavier. Copping only 1 week for something like that for Tarmo is not good enough, in my opinion. Teague Wilton now has got a fortnight ahead of him where he needs to sit on the sidelines. When he's kicking the ball up in the air, they are vulnerable. Now, if he's talking, and there needs to be something done about that, but if he's talking about passing deep within the line, that's been footy since 1908, man. And it's really hard on the referees. I'm sure you guys are going to bring it up, but Jaden Sewer incident, for me, I don't think that's a penalty. I don't think that's a penalty at all, let alone a sin bin for Jaden Sewer. So I don't know, man. I think it's just, sorry, but I think he is having a bit of a sook, unfortunately, bro.
Yeah. ProEnzo, Vidz, what's your take on it, brother?
Well, I think we're always going to hear a comment like this from any halfback because it always seems to happen in the game. It's been happening for a long time. But the thing is, it's rugby league. It's been built. That sort of thing has been built into rugby league. And it always has been happening. There's not much you can really do to stop it. I mean, yes, you can sin bin them, but it's a repeated offence. It's not going to be one of those things that will be for sure or promised to be stopped. So Moses, he can bring up all he wants, but that's the thing. It's rugby league. It's going to happen. I mean, how else are you going to stop the kicker from kicking? So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't personally like Moses. I never really did, but I guess it is fair enough for him to bring up that point. But yeah, no. At the same time, this is what rugby league is. It's a tough sport. You can't handle it, then not our issue.
I do recall. It might have been last year, sometime, or it might have been 2 years ago. Cherry Evans had a bit of a whinge about it as well. He said that the halves are not getting protected enough, and he said the blockers aren't able to do much because if they contact the defender that's coming out of the line, then they get penalised for taking out the defender who doesn't even get the balls, which makes it a bit more complicated. But here's the thing, right? Moses is the only one that's really had a whinge about it so far this year. But 2 weeks into the season, Moses is the only one that's had a whinge about it. I see where he's coming from, but here's the thing, right? It doesn't help when the halfback gets real deep, puts in the kick, and the halfback always... They seem to jump a little bit so they can get more height on the ball and get it a bit further downfield so they jump. That doesn't help as well. And here's the other thing. When a front rower is coming out of the line and it's going to hit a half, if it hits a blocker, then they're going to call penalty to the other team. That's the problem with it. But if it comes out, hits his legs, I mean, he's not going to be able to get to his chest. I mean, clearly not, because they're so worried about a high tackle now because shoulder, chin. They can't even identify what a high tackle is nowadays. But it's really hard for the forwards because when the forwards come out of the line, they're going full belt and they can't just stop. They have to keep going. And a lot of them are committed to the tackle, but sometimes it's like a 2-3 second late and bang, penalty. Sometimes they can pull out of it. It's hard for me to really judge it because I played in the forwards and I played in the halves as a young fella, and I sort of know what it's like because, I mean, I kicked the ball before and I got hit in the legs, and I tell you what, it fucking hurts. It's not fun. And I've been a forward before, and I've come out along and I've hit a half right in the leg, and I've really fucking hurt them. So I can see where both sides are coming from. I'm sort of in the middle with it because I can see where Moses is coming from. I can see where the forwards are coming from. It's really hard to say, but maybe the decoy runners need to take a bit more responsibility and just try and make sure, okay, well, you know, maybe do a better job in protecting your half. But, gee, it's very hard to stop when you come in full out.
And let alone that, lads, that the NRL throughout the entire offseason said that they were going to crack down on these late shots that are coming through, and evidence is in Jaden Sewer. We all don't think it should have been a penalty, but it is because they're cracking down on it, and that's great. That's great. So the NRL, credit to them, they are trying to take. They have taken strides into trying to protect the halfback when he's playing deep within the line. But when it comes to the kicking game, man, it needs to be harsher, in my opinion, and it needs to be more consistent because the result of James Tarmo and the result of Teague Wilton, they're different. They're way too different. There's too much in between, unfortunately. So yeah, I understand both parties, but if I had to fall on one side, I think Moses is just going off a little bit too early. It's only round 2, as you said, Nick.
Sam, I know you said the Jaden Sewer one. You reckon that shouldn't have been a penalty, mate? No. I actually disagree. I reckon that was fine. I didn't have a problem with it on the weekend. I thought he hit him late. He well and truly passed the ball. Late contact. The whiplash does on your neck and shoulder is not pretty. It really fucks you up. Long term, anyway. Short term, it might be all right. Long term, it's not fun. The whiplash, and look, those ones have been sin bins for quite some time now. And Andrew Johns has been calling for it for a while, and JT as well. A lot of them have been saying on TV, on Channel 9 and shit. You can't be, like, if you're a half, you pass the ball, the forwards can usually pull out because if it's a passing motion where it's a block play and it gets hit late, usually the forwards can pull out quite easily there. But if it's a kick, it's a bit different if it's a kick. But the Jaden Sewer one, I actually have no problem with that. I thought that was a fair call in the weekend. But I can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from. It is a bit, it's black and white, isn't it? It's very up and down.
Well, at the moment, the NRL, I credit to them, they are trying to make it black and white, but we're still just in the teething problems. Therefore, there's still a little bit of grey area in the game. But look, man, if that's the press, if the standard was set with Jaden Sewer, where you and I are starting to disagree, then the NRL are doing their job. And that's the level of consistency and the level that they need to maintain for the rest of the year, man.
Yeah. ProEnzo, Vidz, quickly, the Jaden Sewer one on the weekend where he, I think, who was it on? Was it O'Sullivan he hit? Was that who he hit?
Yeah.
Or was it Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah, O'Sullivan. Do you reckon that was a fair sin bin or no?
Look, personally, I think it is because if they're going to be consistent with it, then yeah, that's a sin bin then. Because if they want to be, because there's other, I can't obviously recall which ones, but if we've seen that happen before and then Sewer did that exact same thing, then yeah, you want to be consistent. Yeah. Tomorrow night, Sharks and Dragons down there at Wynn Stadium. If we see one of those fucking late hits on the halves where it's a late shot in the line, if that isn't a sin bin tomorrow night, me and you will have plenty to say on the Thursday Night Football Review tomorrow night. We'll have a lot to say about that.
Yep.
But, yeah, hopefully the NRL can get some consistency with these late shots on the halves and just make sure they're not fucking too out of control. But I guess we'll find out over the weekend if they're consistent with it. Now, let's go to topic number 2. Are any team in trouble after the first 2 rounds? So from what I understand, I believe there's 4 teams that have not won a game so far this year, and that is the South Sydney Rabbitohs, the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, the West Tigers, and the New Zealand Warriors. Sam, are any of those 4 teams in trouble to start the year? If it's not them, do you see anyone else in trouble?
I will say that Manly and South Sydney are not in trouble. And it's funny that it comes down to West Tigers and Warriors. They're both playing each other on Friday night. That is a critical game. The Warriors are less in trouble at the moment. The West Tigers are the team in the red zone for me, or just on the precipice of entering the red zone, mate. I think the West Tigers, they are definitely in trouble already this early in the season, mate.
Just a random question without notice, mate. Will the Tigers be able to avoid the bottom 4 this year? Will Madge get the sack? What's going to happen at the Tigers? They're a massive mess at the moment.
They are a massive mess, and no, I don't think they will avoid the bottom 4. And I had in my ladder predictions them attaining the wooden spoon.
Yeah. ProEnzo Vidz, is there any team in trouble after the first 2 rounds?
I wouldn't think so. I think it's only round 2. We can't judge too much on it. When I think about it, it's more round 5, round 4 where we sort of get an idea how every team's sort of traveling, and that's in my opinion anyway. But I think what Sam said about the Tigers is something I can agree on as well, because there's already been first 2 rounds in, already talk about their coach being gone, already talk about the players have there and everything, and that's some drama. So if they lose on Friday, then it just causes more havoc, doesn't it, to the club and to the players. So it's not going to be a nice feeling if that's what's going to happen. So I do think Tigers are in trouble as well, because I was before I came on here, I was watching 360, and they play Storm and Roosters inside the next from now to round 7, I believe they play Storm and Roosters. I'm pretty sure that's who they play in those weeks. So if they lose, then they're in trouble for sure.
Obviously, the West Tigers are in a bit of trouble, and I think that's the obvious one, and Sam pretty much nailed everything on the coffin. But I just want to throw a different team out there. I reckon Parramatta are in trouble. I really do. I reckon they're in all sorts of trouble. They have been very underwhelming the first 2 rounds. They were very, very lucky to beat the Gold Coast, and defensively they were dreadful, conceding 28 points in round 1 at Combank Stadium, and their right side defence was absolutely woeful. And last week against Cronulla, well, talk about finding a way to lose a game of fucking football, losing on the bell, just awful defence. Parramatta's right side defence early on has been awful to see, and I reckon they're in trouble. I said at the start of the year the Eels will not play finals football. I stand by that. They haven't shown me anything. They haven't shown me enough that's convincing me to put them in the top 8 at the moment. I'm concerned. And look, this weekend they play Melbourne, which is an extremely tough game. Then they take on the Dragons, who have been playing well. And then they play the Titans again, which will be another tough game. And then after that, play the Tigers, which is winnable. I don't know, man. There's just something about Parramatta that isn't clicking. If there's any team besides the West Tigers that are in trouble, I reckon Parramatta's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but they've got to win under the board, mate. They're not one of the teams that are 0-2.
That is true,
right.
But the draw I got coming up, I'm not convinced that I can't see them winning the next. I reckon they'll lose the next 3. I really do. I reckon Melbourne will beat them this weekend, and I reckon Melbourne will beat them well, and then I reckon Saints will beat them, and Titans I reckon will beat them too. I don't know, man. Really worried about Parramatta. I know they've got a few injuries, and I know there's a few things going on there, but they just seem to be a bunch of sooks at the moment. Mitchell Moses whinging about, late contact, cry me a river. I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out in a few weeks how they're going, but I don't know, man. I'm worried about Parramatta.
Gee whiz, mate. Yeah, we're swapping we're swapping ideas tonight, man, because I think Parramatta have been a touch underwhelming, man, but not to the degree that you're putting them under. I think the game between Cronulla last week was a high-quality game of rugby league, and I saw the defensive errors that they were making on the right-hand side in both opening rounds. But save for a Ray Stone brain snap in that final minute, again, admittedly, I think Parramatta hold them out. So if it wasn't for Ray Stone's brain snap, I think they walk away with the 2 points and I get a perfect fucking round, excuse my language.
Well, if it wasn't for the fucking dumb cunt pokey West Tigers, I would have had a perfect round too. Those assholes. Fucking pokies. I hope they lost in the pokies. Now, fuck it. They ruined my round. Bastards. All right. Fuck the Tigers. Fuck the Eels. I reckon they're both in trouble. I'm with you. All right, let's go to topic number 1. Now, this might get a little bit interesting. What have we made of the NRL HIA doctor in the bunker so far? There's a lot of interesting things to say about this. The NRL HIA doctor that sits in the bunker. Sam, what have you made of it the first 2 rounds?
Look, I like the implementation, and they are still trying to work through it. So look, keep it, but try and smooth things out before Magic Round. I'd say that my main issue, and I know I've already spoken about it, but I want to make it clear, is the timing of the referees. I think the referees or the communication from the bunker doctor to the referee needs to be a lot better. For example, Newcastle Knights, they won 13 plus by 20 plus on the weekend, but in that first half, they got a penalty and they were about to take a quick tap and get some momentum rolling downhill. And then Ben Cummins stopped play for David Norfoluma, who was hit by a butterfly by his tough standards, mate. He didn't want to come off. He wasn't injured in any way, shape or form. So if there's going to be a moment where the bunker doctor says, get this player off, there has to be a moment in the game where it's not stopping the momentum of the attacking team that's not being affected by a player that's been deemed to be hit by HIA protocols in the defensive line. I hope that made sense, Nick.
Yeah, no, well said. Couldn't agree more. There needs to be a lot of clarification on this whole HIA bunker, and I just want to throw it out there. Why is it in the bunker? Why can't the HIA doctor be at the ground? Wouldn't that be a lot safer and a bit more easier to do things? Doing it live from Sydney in the goddamn bunker. I mean, far out. There's been so many delays with it as well. The referee's getting confused. I mean, the poor referee is going to deal with the game, the onside, the offside. He's going to deal with the bunker, with the late hits and all this. And now they're going to deal with the HIA doctor in the air as well. Hey, mate, Daniel Tupou, he looks a bit groggy. He needs to go for a HIA. Oh, no, sorry. Corey Thompson, he's got a concussion. He needs to go off the field. Hargraves needs to go get a HIA. I mean, how fucking frustrating would that be for the referees?
It would be. And just to give my piece on it now, I think, I don't know. I don't really have the best idea on it either because it still is very confusing, you know. What I will say is they have been a little bit better, like not coming in all the time on the field, like because last year with that issue when they were consistently on the field and consistently, you know, stopping time and play and a waste of time. And I feel like personally, from what I've seen at the opening 2 rounds, they have limited that. They've only come on when there's like a break. I'm pretty sure that's when they come on at the right time. But if they're doing it from the bunker, then I think it's stupid because you know
I hate it from the bunker.
Because if it's if it's like a spine injury or like one of those serious sort of injuries, and they're gonna go from the bunker and call it from there, you're not gonna get there, you know, pretty quickly. Like, you know, it's better being on the ground, like the sidelines. So I don't know, man. I wish I could give a better sort of response to it, but it's too confusing. And I guess once the season goes on more, I guess we'll have a better idea on it actually.
Yeah, it's too technical, isn't it? I mean, I don't understand why you can't just get one HIA doctor. You get 8 HIA NRL doctors. You get them to one game each, and all they got to do, they sit on the sideline. The game's in front of them. They got a monitor in front of them, and they watch the game. They watch for specific head knocks HIA situations. That's all they got to do. Having them in a bunker in front of a fucking stupid television when you've got referees around talking about the game. Oh yeah, make sure, you know, blah blah blah, whatever they're talking about. It's just a confusing situation right now, and I think it'd be so much better if the doctors were at the game itself instead of being in the bunker. It's so much easier. Yeah,
and just to, I don't know, maybe hopefully I do when I say this, but to clarify that there is a doctor or two for each club when the game is being played, and they are the ones that assess them when the trainer goes out and says, all right, he's got to come off and be assessed, sort of thing. But what I understand is that this independent doctor is sitting in the bunker and he sees David Norfoluma just sort of cop a glancing blow and he goes, oh, like that. That's all he saw, and he went, right, he's got to come off and be assessed, sort of thing. But I'd like to, and I'm sure he does do this, but I'd like to think that he sort of, I don't know, like, do you have like a specific camera on a certain player when the independent doctor says, right, keep an eye on him now, sort of thing? So how is he tracking? How is this independent doctor in the bunker tracking the player movement for the next 2 minutes before he decides, right, he needs to come off because I saw him sort of grab his face a little bit? But in the end, it was Norfoluma again that, by his tough standards, he got hit by a butterfly in the end, by the end of it, mate.
Mate, I think it was the Eels and Titans game in round 1. Philip Summy got a concussion, or a so-called concussion, a HIA. He had to go off the field. He walked past Brad Fittler on the sideline when he was doing sideline for Channel 9, and Brad Fittler said to him and said, are you all right? And Philip Summy said, I don't even have a concussion, I'm fine. But they took him off. He had to go get a HIA assessment. And here's the thing as well. I might be going a little bit too technical with this. These HIA doctors can actually have a massive impact on a game. I really believe that. What happens if a winger What happens if a HIA happens to a winger? The winger goes for a HIA, he comes back, nothing wrong with him, but then they can see a couple of tries because they got players out of position. They come back in the game and they lose by a try or two, but then you go back and watch the game all because of a HIA that was never a HIA. And also, just because someone gets fended off in the face, or just because someone hits their head on their leg and they get up and they're fine, does not mean they shouldn't be able to go for a HIA. That could be fine. You know, it's a contact sport. We're not playing fucking underwear football here. We're not fucking pussies. This is a real game. This is a fucking legitimate game. Fuck these fucking doctors, man. They try to come in, take over the game. Seriously, get the doctors back in their fucking rooms in the fucking office. Fuck off. We need them, but at the moment, they're way over the top, I reckon, anyway.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, you know, if they come on a bit too much, it's going to, like I said, time wasting. You know, it's just not worth it. They always come on and off, and that's just what I get pissed off about as well.
Yeah. And just one other thing, man. If they come off and if they've been assessed after 2 to 3 minutes to not have a HIA problem, then get them back on the field, man. Yeah, don't have them off the paddock for the entire 15-minute period, man. Because as you said, Norfoluma was off for 15 minutes and they were at 6s and 7s for a little bit there, the West Tigers.
They'd fucking lay Lua playing centres.
Yeah.
And they had fucking Oliver Gildart on the wing. Oliver Gildart hasn't played in the wing since he was 20. I mean, fuck me, Dad. You can play players out of position. Of course you're going to concede tries. Good luck. It's like having a whole game where you've got a front row defending in the centres. Good luck. They're going to get exposed at some point. But, man, let's just hope it's an easy fix. Hopefully it doesn't drag out the whole year and get complicated, because I don't want, to be honest with you, I don't want to talk about it ever again, because the whole thing gives me a headache just talking about it. So hopefully it gets sorted out and there's no dramas. But there are all the topics out of the way, lads. Let's get into the round of footy, shall we? Round 3. Also, mate, what a round it's going to be. We got 3 massive rivalry games on Thursday night, Friday night, and Sunday afternoon. It's also multicultural round as well, which I found out yesterday. I had no idea about it until ProEnzo put it in his thumbnail on his video. I didn't even know about it until he told me. ProEnzo Vidz, what do you think about multicultural round, and do you think it's great for the game?
Absolutely. You know, it brings all the cultures together. It just recognises, you know, what kind of backgrounds and what cultures are playing the game as of right now. You know, yesterday I think some players at Belmore, a coffee shop there, they all came together, some different cultures, and they sort of just kind of open it up and just kind of give a, you know, sort of starting of the multicultural round regularly, maybe every year, hopefully. So, it's just a nice event, I reckon, and it's very important to recognise what kind of backgrounds in that play in our game.
Absolutely. Sam, mate, what are your thoughts on multicultural round? And, mate, do you think it's great for the game?
Yeah, I do, man. I was looking at the game day guide for the Canberra Raiders, and pretty much every stadium this weekend that's hosting it, there's going to be some sort of event happening. In one corner of the ground, you could be having some sort of Japanese drag or a Chinese dragon dance happening, or something Japanese, or something from Thailand, or wherever, man. There's something international happening around the grounds this weekend, man. So it's a celebration of all cultures. So yeah, no, it's a great initiative.
I love that. And look, obviously, I'm going to the Broncos and Cowboys game on Sunday. If it doesn't flood again, which is what's been forecast, if it doesn't flood, I'll be at Broncos Cowboys on Sunday, and I'll be able to let you guys know what international multicultural thing they do as well. I might even film it and throw it in the vlog. But I can't wait, man. It's a great round, and it's good to see all the cultures coming together as well as one. And like you said, could be a Japanese dance, could be something from Thailand, could be
South Africa. Yeah, man.
It could be the haka could even happen. Who knows? Maybe the haka could happen. Who the hell knows? You never know. But yeah, it's good to see. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. But let's get into the round of 40 now. What we're going to do, fellas, we're just going to go through the games. All I want from you, I want an anytime try scorer, and I want a margin for the game. So let's get into it. Thursday night football down there at Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. It's the first of the three big NRL rivalry games. It is the Dragons versus the Sharks. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait for this. The Sharks, $1.75 favourites. Dragons, $2.20. Sam, who wins this one, by how much, and who will score a try?
I think Cronulla will win this one 24 points to 16, and I'm going to go Nico Hines as an anytime try scorer.
Love to see it. ProEnzo, Vidz, mate, what do you reckon about this one?
Sharks by 6 at anytime try scorer. I'm going to back in Tyrell Sloan.
I'm going to go the Sharks as well. Sharks 1-12. I'm going to go big Siafa Talakai to bag a try. I love big Talakai. It's good to see him in the back row this weekend. I reckon he'll bag a try. I believe he's running at young Amon. So good luck, Amon. Get them bloody shoulders up, because big Talakai's coming for you. Look out for Thursday night. Let's go to Friday night footy. 6 o'clock down there at Campbelltown Sports Stadium. West Tigers versus New Zealand Warriors. Warriors $1.75 favourites. West Tigers $2.15. Sam, who wins this one, and who's going to score?
Yeah, New Zealand Warriors are going to win this game. Scoreline could be very high scoring. I think it could be something like 28 points to 20, another 8-point margin. And I think Montoya will have a bit of a field day, actually. I think he'll get a double.
Oh, wow. What about you, ProEnzo, Vidz?
I just want to point out quickly, I was very close to be flipping a coin on my tips on Tuesday. I was that close to just getting the 10 cent out, flip it, and then, get the result in the end. I was that close because I couldn't bloody tip at the time. But I am backing the Warriors to win by about 4 points. I think they'll get the job done. And I think anytime try scorer, I reckon Rocco Berry.
Yeah, Rocco Berry deserves a try after last week. I felt sorry for him in the second half. I'm also going the Warriors 1-12. If this game was in Queensland, I might have went 13+, but Hastings is out, suspended, and I just don't see how Brooks is going to be able to carry his team to score enough points for me. So I'm going the Warriors 1-12, and anytime try scorer. I'm going to go for a bit of a roughie, fellas. I'm going to go Josh Curran. Josh Curran to score. I love Josh Curran at the moment. He's playing great footy. Warriors to win 1-12. I can't tip the Tigers at the moment. It's just the way they're playing. All right, Friday night, the biggest rivalry in rugby league. Friday night, 8:05, I should say, 8:05 p.m. at Stadium Australia. The Rabbitohs and the Roosters. Roosters $1.65, South Sydney $2.25. Friday night. Can't wait for this. Sam, who wins and who scores?
Roosters are going to win this one 1-12, and I reckon Joey Manu will get a try and say, "Get that one up, you South Sydney."
Ooh, I love it. ProEnzo, Vidz, what do you reckon about this one?
Yeah, Roosters by 6, and I reckon Billy Smith anytime try scorer.
You're both going to be wrong here. The South Sydney Rabbitohs are my specials of the weekend. The Bunnies will win. They will win. They have won their last 3 against the Roosters, and they will make it the last 4 after Friday night. The Bunnies will win this. They are desperate, and they need to get a win, and I reckon they will. I'm going the Rabbitohs 1-12, and anytime try scorer. I'm going to go Latrell Mitchell just so he can piss off the Roosters even more. Trent Robinson's head will be exploding. There'll be smoke coming out of his ears in the commentary box, in the coach's box on Friday night. Rabbitohs 1-12. Latrell to score. Can't wait for this game. Hopefully we get some fireworks. Hopefully Latrell Mitchell to Tasmania have a little fight in the corner. That'd be good to watch. But Rabbitohs are my specials. Now let's go to beautiful Super Saturday. And the first game is at 3 o'clock down there at Carrington Park in Bathurst. It's the Panthers and the Knights. Panthers $1.25 favourites. Newcastle Knights at $4. Wow. Sam, who wins this one and who's going to score?
Oh, man, this is going to be a very good game to watch, isn't it, mate? Very close to tipping Newcastle, but I'm going to tip the Penrith Panthers, back the championship credentials of the club, and anytime try scorer. I'll actually go Kalen Ponga. I think Kalen Ponga will be up for a big game, and he'll keep the Knights in it. So Kalen Ponga, anytime try scorer, but Penrith to win 1-12.
Yep. ProEnzo, Vidz, what do you reckon about this one?
Well, if you saw what I said yesterday, then you would know who I'm going with. And I'm backing the boys from Newcastle. I think Knights can get the job done. There is no Cleary, there's no To'o, and Knights get a double boost in having Daniel Saifidi and Ponga back. I just think that's going to be a very big thing for their team on Saturday. And I just like them, because it's at neutral territory in Bathurst. So, no real home ground advantage for either club. And, I think Knights get the job done. And I think they'll win 17-16 Clifford field goal.
Fuck, man, you've gone out on a limb there, ProEnzo.
Love
I like it. I'm going the Panthers 1-12. I think the Panthers are going to put the Newcastle Knights back in their place. Newcastle have been well the first 2 rounds, but I think this is the reality check that they're going to get on Saturday afternoon. I reckon it will be tight. Panthers 1-12. I'm going to go anytime try scorer. You know what? I'm going to go very bold. I reckon Scott Sorensen off the bench will score. I'm going for it.
If he plays, mate, like all reports for the past couple of days was James Fisher-Harris, Scott Sorensen weren't going to play, and they've been named. So, I mean, he may be a late scratching, but, we'll see what happens.
If he plays, he'll score. Panthers will win 1-12. Newcastle have been good lately, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to score enough points. I know they've been scoring plenty of points lately, but they're playing the champs. They're playing the premiers. This is a different level. This is a very different level. This is going to be a big test for them. I just don't know if they can do it. So, Penrith 1-12, and Scott Sorensen to score a try anytime. All right, let's go to the other game on Saturday night, which is at 5:30 p.m. down there in Melbourne. Storm versus the Eels. This is a very, very interesting game down there in Melbourne. Melbourne $1.50, Parramatta at $2.50. A few players have been ruled out for Melbourne. Sam, who wins this one and who's going to score?
If you're going to tip Parramatta, take the money right now as it is, because I think it's going to be $1.80 to $2 Parramatta, I reckon. So if you're going to tip Parramatta, do it right now. I tipped Melbourne Storm yesterday before I knew about Harry Grant and Wishart and Brandon Smith. I honestly, I don't know yet. So I'm just going to say Melbourne Storm are going to win this one 1-12, but I might change my tip later on throughout the week. And I think Isaiah Papali'i will be an anytime try scorer against Melbourne.
Wow. That's big. That is very, very big. ProEnzo, Vidz, what do you reckon about this one, brother?
Yeah, well, look, having no real dummy half's going to hurt Melbourne, I think. No Grant, no Wishart, no Smith potentially. And they've got Jay Nikorima at hooker, so he needs to have a big game if they are to sort of, go on victory. But, I will tip Melbourne still win by about 12 points. And anytime try scorer, I think, I think Munster will get in for a try anytime.
Yeah, look, for me, I reckon the Storm win this, and I reckon the Storm win really well. I really do. I can't see the Melbourne Storm losing to Parramatta for the 3rd time in a row. There is no way that's going to happen. Parramatta have beaten them the last 2 times, and Nick Reamer will play dummy half from what I understand, and Nick Meaney will probably come onto the bench as that jersey 14. Melbourne are just too good. And I think Bellamy would have gave him a big spray after what happened in the last 10 minutes against Souths last week. So I'm going to Melbourne Storm. I'm going 18 plus. And I'm going to go anytime try scorer. Justin Olam to get a hat-trick.
You got.
Melbourne, the Parramatta right side defence is dreadful. And Olam has been a little bit quiet to start the year. I reckon he's going to absolutely explode on Saturday night. So Olam hat-trick, Storm to win. 18 plus. It could be, who knows. But I'm going to Storm. Now let's go to the other game on Saturday night, which is at 7:35 p.m. down there at GIO Stadium in Canberra. Raiders and Titans. Raiders $1.80, Titans at $2. Sam, who wins this one? Who's going to score? And are you going to this game on Saturday night?
Super Saturday, super fucking hard to tip, mate. I am going to the game on Saturday evening, bro. And I will be vlogging. I've tipped Canberra. It could go either way, and I'll go Matt Tomoko to be an anytime try scorer.
I like it. I really like it. What about you, ProEnzo Vidz?
Yeah, super tough game this pick actually as well. But look, since Canberra back at home, I think they'll go well there. So I think Raiders to win by about 8 points and Nick Kotrick anytime try scorer.
I'll tell you what, I declared the Bunnies as my specials of the round. Well, I'm actually going to declare a second specials of the round. The Gold Coast Titans will win this game, and they won't just win the game. The Titans will win well. They are going to put the Raiders on a sword, and they are going to punish them Saturday night down there in Canberra. I have actually enjoyed what the Titans have been doing lately. Obviously, I don't like the Titans, and I hope they come last and shit. I don't like them one bit. But they have shown so much more than what the Raiders have shown the first 2 rounds. I reckon the Titans win this game 13 plus. I reckon they win by about 16 points. Canberra for mine last week up there in Townsville, they honestly made me fucking sick. They made the Cowboys look like a fucking top 4 side. That's how bad the Raiders were last week. The Titans, competitive round 1, good for a while against the Warriors, and then they just held on. I reckon the Titans are going to absolutely flog the Raiders here. I reckon the Titans win well. So I'm going to Titans 22 plus, and I'm going to go anytime try scorer. David Fafita will get a double. He needs a big game. He was quiet last week, and he got benched at the back end of the game against the Warriors last week. Fafita needs a big game. So I'm going Titans to win by 22 plus. Fafita double. I really believe it will happen. Now, let's go to it, Sam. The big one, the blockbuster, the Queensland Derby, the biggest game of the weekend for Cowboys and Broncos supporters and Queenslanders itself. Broncos, Cowboys, Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m., Suncorp Stadium. From what I understand, there's already going to be about 47,000 people there. There's fuck all tickets left. It probably will be a sellout, depending on this little rain/flood that could happen. What a game this is going to be. Brisbane $1.50, Cowboys $2.50. Sam, Cowboys by how much and who's going to score?
Fantastic value about North Queensland there, mate. It's the biggest rodeo on the fucking planet. Look, the Cowboys got away with a victory with a really good kicking game. They scored 2 or 3 tries off of lucky kicks. And if that's the trend that's going to occur for the North Queensland Cowboys for the next couple of weeks, Kyle Felt's going to score a try off of a kick from Chad Townsend. And the Cowboys are going to win 1-12 in a super close game.
Kyle Felt is due through a try. He should have had one last week, but very unlucky.
No, he did score. He did score last week, mate.
Did he?
Peter Hiku kicked it.
Oh, he did too. What the fuck am I on about? I can't even remember him scoring now. I was that excited. Can't even remember. Bloody hell. I can't wait for this game, man. This is going to be a cracker. I can't wait.
Oh, it will.
Can't wait. ProEnzo, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon I'm going to upset both, actually. That's the Broncos to win on Sunday.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, mate. We'll see you next week.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Well, no, I've seen Broncos to win by about 2 points and Kirk Capel.
Oh, don't say that. Jesus Christ. If the Broncos win by 2 points, I might get fucking arrested if that happens. Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear.
I might get in a lot of trouble. If we lose by 2 points, I might end up being arrested. Good God Almighty! I'll tell you what though, I probably won't have a voice left after Sunday. I can't wait for this. I'll be there. Let's just hope and pray that this flood that's been reported, hopefully it doesn't happen. If it happens, it's going to be really fucking bad. I can't wait for this. Broncos, Cowboys, going to be a classic. It will be a tight one. And look, this game will go to Golden Point. This is going to be a blockbuster. I reckon the Cowboys winning Golden Point 19-18. Anytime try scorer, I'm going to go Tom Dearden to stay. Stick that one up your Brisbane. Tom Dearden will score. Cowboys to win by 1. I cannot wait for this game. I can't wait. Cowboys to win, and mate, the Broncos win by 2. Fuck if I know what's going to happen. I'll be throwing Coca-Cola cans onto the fucking stadium. I won't be happy. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to the final game of the round. It is the Manly Seagulls up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, Sunday night at Brookvale Oval, 6:15 kickoff. ProEnzo, Vidz, let's start with you this time, bro. It's your boys, Manly. Do you reckon the Seagulls will win this? And if they do, by how much and who will score?
Well, they better win. They better, because this could be the very last time you might see this on the wall, I think. So they don't win. That's how serious I might take it, eh? But look, we should win. We should. This is the week we should turn up and get a win in front of our home fans. So yeah, I'm going to tip Manly to win by 14 points, and I reckon Ruben Garrick will get a double down Jane Ockenball's side.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? Manly or Dogs on Sunday night?
Looking forward to seeing how the new 4 Points Park looks, actually, man. It's been a long time coming for Brookvale Oval, a regular attendees, mate, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm completely in agreement with ProEnzo, mate. ProEnzo, who's partnering Ruben Garrick? Is it Harper or Parker?
Parker.
Parker, I'm going to go Brad Parker to score anytime try, and I think Manly will win 13 plus, not extravagantly, like something like 16 points. Manly 13 plus.
I'm going the Seagulls 28 plus.
Yo.
Manly's first home game, Brookvale Oval, expect a decent crowd. If Tommy Turbo can't make anything happen in this game, then Manly might as well just pack it in and fucking try something different next week. So I think this is the game that Manly been waiting for. First home game. And look, with all due respect to the Bulldogs, it's an easier game. They played Roosters. Manly played Penrith round 1, Premiers. Roosters round 2, another team that should be top 4. Manly they're not ready for the top 4 teams just yet. They'll be ready for them at the back end of the year, in my opinion. But as of right now, Manly are not ready for the top 4 competition. Later in the year, they will be. The Bulldogs trying to improve, but if you saw Jade Knockenball's defense on the weekend, you can just guarantee you that Saab is going to score a try. What's Saab? No.
Garrick.
They'll both score a double, really. I don't give a fuck. Manly will win 28 plus. And also, I reckon Saab, Garrick, and Turbo will both score a double each. I really believe that. I don't know what it's paying on Sportsbet, but it'll be a nice payout. And also, I just want to hold Paddy G in the chat to this. If Manly lose, he says he'll shave off his penis. So, Paddy G, if they do lose, I'll be waiting for this. I'm looking forward to it.
Hold him to that.
Obviously, don't tell the camera, but I'll be on you, Paddy G, if they fucking lose. I'll be after you. Manly. Manly will win this. So,
if Manly lose on Sunday, mate, ProEnzo Vidz unleashes to the maximum level.
MAD. That's how I'm going to be.
If Manly don't win, I'll be waiting for the fucking review. My notification will be fucking turned right on. I cannot wait. I'll be looking forward to it. Once that notification comes through, I'll be on the phone. Quick. Quick. ProEnzo Vidz' fucking video. Quick. Get on there.
ProEnzo Vidz will walk into a JB Hi-Fi store with a baseball bat and he'll just smash every laptop in sight. He'll be that friggin' uncontrollable, bro. For sure.
Yeah, ProEnzo Vidz unleashes. That's how it will be. We don't win, but we better fucking win. So come on, Manly.
No, tipping Manly.
Manly 13 plus. But fellas, that's going to wrap things up for the Rugby League Breakdown podcast, episode number 41. I just want to thank you guys as always for coming on the podcast. It was a very nice, smooth show, mate. Sam, ProEnzo, thank you for another fantastic podcast.
Thank you kindly, mate. Thank you, ProEnzo. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, thanks, lads.
Well, it was a very nice show, and hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. I know if you did, make sure you go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. Anyway, guys, we're getting out of here. Have a fantastic Sunday night, and Wednesday night. Fuck me, I'm going back in time travel here. I will see you guys tomorrow night for the Thursday night football review with Sam REVILL. Anyway, guys, until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and before I go, I just want to say as well, Cowboys and Broncos on Sunday, Cowboys 26+.